All right, GladrapChannel here with John Conway, the man himself. How you doing, John?
Doing good.
So you're coming off a pretty controversial fight last weekend with, you were refereeing the Joseph Parker Alexander Flores.
That fight. Yeah, apparently it's controversial. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like having the best seats in the house?
It's all right. It's all right. It was a fast fight. They're both really good fighters. Both good footwork. It was a quick fight. It was quite harsh on the American fighter. He got a couple of fouls on him, but I think the traffic was going to go that way anyway. So.
Did you watch the interview with Joseph Parker leading up to the fight, where he sort of said he was going to be more aggressive in his stance, like he said he was going to hit him in the balls? Have you seen that sort of?
Yeah, but you can't act on that. That's just words.
Okay, so you don't look at that as premeditated, sort of.
No, you don't as a referee. No.
Okay.
No.
So whatever happens on the night, that's sort of.
It happens. Yeah.
Okay,
They're both on an even keel, and Joseph did a few fouls. We're going down the avenue of taking points off. But unfortunately for the American, the fight didn't go that long. So, it is what it was. It's a rough sport, boxing.
So after the first low blow, what did you tell Joseph? Like, did you immediately jump on him?
Yeah, I told Joseph keep the punches up.
What did he say?
He said he didn't punch low. And as a referee, you don't have a conversation with fighters. You just tell them what you tell them. And the second time he did it, I told him, Joseph, I put his break in the action. I told Joseph those punches are too low, the carry-on points are coming off. And then the third time I pulled him up on it is when the knockout occurred. So that's he got knocked out by a head punch, not by a low punch.
So there hasn't been any backlash to your performance, right? I mean, you did everything to a T, right?
The only people I answer to are very happy with my performance.
Yeah.
The rules are pretty clear. You give them a couple of warnings. It's your discretion when to take a point off. And it was going down that avenue to take points off, but we hadn't got there quite yet. And the knockout occurred before the points came off, and the fight was over.
Were you pretty stoked to get that gig? Have you refereed another Joseph Parker fight?
Yeah, that's
before?
my fourth one.
Okay.
Joseph Parker. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, my attitude is all fights are even fights. It's not. Joseph's special, but as a referee, all fighters are treated equally, treated fair, because it's equally as important to every fighter when they fight. So you referee your best, your health comes first, and integrity of the sport second, and that's how that fight went down.
So you were pretty busy that night, huh? So I saw you in the corner, and then you jumped in, get changed, and then referee.
Yeah,
you like to stay busy.
David Light and Lance's fight. That again was a very exciting, fast-paced fight. Then I had Butterbean. Didn't do too well down there, and unfortunately he got stopped early. But it's just boxing. He trained really well for that fight. He really put a big effort in, and we had our Lani. He's very talented, fast twitch fibre, good puncher. So we really had our work cut out, and we did all the training that was required. It's just he got caught early, and that was the end of the fight for Butterbean.
Well, you were in his corner for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. What was he like? Like, because the guy trains so many people. He's an inspiration to so many people. And, according to the books, the nice fairy tale ending would be he goes there and he puts up a good fight or even knocks out Manu.
Yeah.
But it sort of was devastating. Like, he had a great start and then he gets knocked out.
Yeah.
What do you think that does for the Butterbean story? Is that even better maybe in some way?
Yeah. It doesn't do any harm to it. If anything, it'll lift it up because Butterbean's always about getting back onto the plan, getting back onto the horse, and exactly what he did. The next couple of days, he's out on the field helping people. In fact, he's inspired people to come back to training because he went down, he gets up and carries on, and some people have done the same. They've been onto a weight loss program and they've fallen off the bus, and they've been disappeared for a while, and then they've come back and they've rejoined the Butterbean campaign into a healthy life again.
Now, just to discuss matters on hand. So now, Joseph Parker is he was, the former WBO heavyweight champion. Now we got Lani Daniels and Geovana fighting for the lightweight WBO title.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's pretty massive, right? I mean, tell people why. Tell the Kiwis out there why this is such a big thing.
Well, it's such a credible sanctioning body, the WBO. It's one of the major ones. And for as big as the planet is, and as many girls as there are fighters, it just happens to be in our backyard. We've got a promoter that's got the balls to put the tournament on. We've got 2 girls that are credible opponents that are prepared to fight each other. So why not? You know, it's right in our backyard. The girls, the girls are eager to fight. They've fought before. It's controversy decision against Lani Daniels, but I thought it should have went the other way, but it will this time around. So,
You know, both girls have got under 10 fights, I think.
Yep.
How did it come to the point where such a prestigious belt is on stake?
well, there's few girls compared to the blokes in boxing. It's you know, you get a half a dozen wins and your ranking really does go up. So that's quite, you know, in a way it's lucky for the girls, although they're not quite rewarded like a male fight in the way of money. But you know, Lani's had some really good fights with just the one loss, and those opponents that she's beaten have catapulted her into the world rankings. So she's about, I think, number 7 or number 8, where Geovana's number 1. So it's a perfect fight for the girls.
So Lani trains out in Pipiwai, Tukaha boxing gym. So how did she link up with you? Was that?
Well, I know her cousin. I've trained her cousin, and I've had a little bit to do up the gyms up at North. So when I seen Lani fight, I thought the only thing she's really lacking is the experience. You know, she's got a lot of good people around her, but there's no one that's been in the sport for 40 years like I have. So I really wanted to help her out, because I once Mary and the Irish get together, unbeatable.
Did she approach you, or you approached her and said, "Hey, look,
her.
I could"? Okay.
I approached her for her cousin, because some things you can't teach a fighter, and those things are what Lani has. And the things that I can teach her are slightly things that are missing from her at this stage. But she catches on really quick. She's got fantastic character. She can see punches coming. So the rest is just academic, really, and then I can show her. So I can tell her stories. In my last 40 years of being involved in ring sports, I can tell her conversations that I've had with Alex Sua or Fred Tafua back in the 70s. I can tell her what it was like to train with Jeff Fennick and stuff that he talked to me about, how to be a winner. So I've got a lot of experience that I can put onto a young person.
And Lani, she's very skillful in there. She likes to sort of outmatch her opponent instead of looking for the knockout. Like, she's almost playing with them in there.
She's got a very similar style to me.
Yeah.
There's a couple of little areas that just need tidied up, and most fighters get to 80%, 90%, but the world champions get to 100%. Lani's 80 or 90 now, so it's just the easy part is the rest of the part to do. So
what it means for you, if Lani does win this belt, what does it mean for you as a coach to have a student win the WBO heavyweight championship? I mean, it's a pretty big honor, right?
It's massive. It really is. It's massive. It's for a trainer to have a fighter take to a world title, that's as big as it gets.
Are you training her to be explosive in this fight, or can you shed a little bit maybe about the game plan or what you guys are training for against Geovana?
At the moment, imagine you got a toolbox. Sometimes she's bringing out the wrong tool. She's probably bringing out a screwdriver when she needs a Phillips screwdriver. Mm-hmm. So I'm basically teaching her what tools to pull out at what time. I'm teaching her about explosiveness, when and when not to do it. I'm teaching her about head positions and footworks. I'm talking about the importance of a character in a fight. And beyond that, what importance it has after the result, and how you must do things before the fight and not wonder what you should have done after the fight, things like that. And
what are you expecting from Geovana to bring in the fight? A lot of aggression, a lot of come forward, toe-to-toe action?
She's a great fighter. Okay. She's explosive, she's powerful. I've always been a fan of hers. I've watched her from her very first fight as a pro, always been a fan of her. I've always communicated to her after the fight, so I'm expecting her to bring her best game. Hard punches, aggressive, forward, pretty much.
This fight is shaping up to be dynamite. You know, the best people in the game are in the corners. They're in the ring.
Yeah.
It's shaping up to be something special, right?
Yeah, it is. Both corners and both fighters are honest people. No shortcuts, no cheap shots. They're going to be, So I think the winner of the fight, it's going to be a fight of really endurance, skill, power. It's got all the ingredients. Both corners, myself and Terry, we're both boxing people, honest, legit boxing people. Yeah, it's going to be a great match.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Conway. Thank you for your time.